To reach a higher level of being, you must accept a higher concept of yourself. Neville Goddard, The Power of Awareness. Hello, it's me, Ade, of StirUpYourPurpose. I hope you are having a nice time. Well, here in British Columbia, we have just a couple of days, just 2 more days before we enter the fall season. So just a couple of days of sunshine to enjoy summer, and then we'll move into the fall season. Today I wanted to share some quotes of Neville Goddard. I came across Neville Goddard around 2014, and his materials have impacted my life, and I've found that I don't really have any video to capture my experience of Neville Goddard. Though I made a collection on my Facebook page, on my Facebook profile. I have an album of some collection of quotes that have impacted my life. Let me share some of those, the statement I made, why, just to give an idea of my experience with Neville Goddard. I mentioned that I came across Neville Goddard in 2014. That was during a period of self-discovery. You might want to ask, what was that self-discovery, and how did I come across Neville Goddard? What drew me to his material? It's kind of an interesting period for me in 2014, though I was not looking for Neville Goddard. But after finding his material, I see that there's quite a loads of people who have benefited from his material. When the period when I came across Neville Goddard, I wasn't searching for Neville Goddard. Neither was I searching for some kind of things that relate to what the teachings that Neville Goddard's materials prefer. I've been into personal development for over 30 years, but I never came across Neville. Kind of interesting. Anyway, it was a period of my life, like I said, was self-discovery period. I was going through a moment that it kind of feels even embarrassing now to even talk about it. That period was a period where I would say I refer to myself as an introvert and a very, very shy person. And during 2014, it came to a point where that natural nature of mine, being an introvert, just reflective person, came to a point where it's kind of developed into what you might call a social anxiety. And what do I mean by how did it develop social? How did I know it was more of a social anxiety? In summary, it was a period when my daughter told me she wanted to have a public birthday party. Ever since we moved to Canada, we've never had a birthday party whereby we invited our friends and things like that. So since we moved to Canada, it's always been the three of us. That is me, my wife, and my daughter. And we celebrate our birthday either in January or February. But come December, around, I guess maybe around November 2013 or thereabout. My daughter told me that come 2014, she's going to invite her friends over. That she's going to invite probably about 18 of her classmates to come to her birthday party. And when she told me that, I went into a panic. That's when I knew that I had social anxiety. Because all along when I came to Canada, after I relocated to Canada, I've never kind of interacted or developed a social circle or whatever it is. And my natural nature of shyness and introversion kind of had blossomed into something different, something a little bit way bigger, which you can term social anxiety. And when she came up with this idea that she's going to invite her friends, and in my mind, something else kicked in. What kicked in was that I'm going to have to kind of have a small talk with the parents. And that means I will have to get out of my comfort zone. And in that moment, even just thinking about it that time, I went into a panic, a serious one. Those who know that they are introverts or very shy, they can relate to this. Some people might not relate to it. Even now, you might wonder, is this true? Yeah, it was. So that's why even I respect people's situations and experiences. So that was where I found myself. And I had a choice. I could just tell her, make an excuse and tell her, no, forget it, we're just going to do it. You've always added the three of us. Why do we need to bring people? I could just do that. But that night before I went to bed, I kind of struggled with it, and I said, come 5 years down the line, how will I look at myself? And I will say, you know, I kind of hindered my daughter because of my own fears, hinder her from being able to express herself the way she is. I had that power to say no, but I knew that I can't live with that life. That is 5 years down the line, you know. So that's when I now told myself I have to do something about this, even though I didn't know what to do. Even the very thought of thinking about the fact that we're going to have to do that birthday party with several people, honestly, it kind of set me off in a panic mood, and I couldn't just believe it. I had kind of developed so deep a social anxiety like this. So that's when I now went online. I began to research. I began to Google how to, well, even before that, I was kind of even quoting the Bible, that I've not been given the spirit of fear, but of power. I made those quotation, affirmation, forget it, it didn't work. That's when I went online. I began to find information on how to overcome this, because I knew I had only, I guess, 3 months or so to make sure that we get this birthday party going. Because I already made up my mind that I'm not going to go with the first option of putting my foot down and saying no, but now I want to find a way to resolve this issue. And that was in the process. When I was searching, I came across Joseph Murphy. Joseph Murphy's material, The Power of, I think it was The Power of the Subconscious. The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. As I studied Joseph Murphy's material, I began to realize that this issue, even though it's been like 5 decades that I've always labeled myself as an introvert, and I'd assumed that that would be my lot. That's the way it is. I've always accepted that, because it's been a challenge even sometimes to express myself in the public. Those who are introverts know what I'm talking about. To express myself in public, to even speak up were challenges. I normally struggle to even raise up my hand, even when you are in a meeting, you know, because you feel that everybody is focused on you, because you are introspective and you think that all eyes are not on you. And in that moment, even to speak out, you freeze completely. Those who are introverts know what I'm saying anyway. So with Joseph Murphy's material, I began to realize that this has to do with the mind. It is more of an internal thing, and it is not that this is the way I am meant to be, that this is my lot. So reading his works began to break. The shell began to more or less break, and I began to step out, even in my mind, of that, you know, the cage of the inner cage that I always lived in. Because as he said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek, or something like that. Can't remember that quote again anyway. So as I studied Joseph Murphy's material, I began to see freedom. I began to understand that this is more to do, like I said, with the mind. And you know, when you begin to read somebody's works, material, you want to, you know, get more, because you can relate to their work. And from there I began to even research, who is this guy, Joseph Murphy? So I believe it was when I was researching who Joseph Murphy was that I came across Neville Goddard. So that's a connection. I wasn't really searching for Neville Goddard. It was just that I was trying to overcome my nature of introversion and trying to make sure that I break out of this long-term shell to ensure that my daughter's birthday with her 18 friends, you know, that we owe that birthday. So that's how I came across Neville Goddard's material, and what another level of awareness and understanding. I've been in personal development for quite a while, but you never stop learning. You never stop increasing your awareness and your knowledge. And it's a strange way that as you stay in these principles, as you stay in the study, the right materials will be revealed to you as you keep on growing. That's the most important thing. And so now I just wanted to share with you some of the quotes that I found very illuminating and expanding, the ones that I found impactful. So I guess I'm going to share probably about maybe 10 quotes, and also very soon I'm going to go into a little bit more details of my Neville Goddard journey. So this is just the first part, just to, because I don't have any video of my experience of Neville Goddard. So I'll do another video just to share some other aspects of my journey and the study of Neville Goddard materials. So I hope you find some things with these quotes. Quotes are powerful, but they have no meaning if you cannot internalize them. So these are power-laden quotes. Don't just probably read or listen to those quotes, but try to apply them. The key thing about these principles and concepts is that they have no power of their own until we make that conscious and deliberate choice to put them to practice. It's all about practice, and more practice. You've got to test it, and the more we test it, the more we see our life will kind of reshape themselves. They will rearrange themselves. Now I'm sharing my experience prior to 2014. Yeah, that quote, I remember that quote: the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. So prior to 2014, I won't be doing this video. No way, I won't do it, because I would say this is not for me. I've had opportunities thrown at me which would have required me to express myself in the public, but because of that, I think I was just using stupid thoughts that I thought that I was, you know, this is the way I was designed. That is, I'm meant to be an introverted, shy guy. But all that is broken. I've left that comfort zone, and the only way I could do that was through practice, implementing, you know, the concept, sharing that material. Apart from that, during that period, before we actually had my daughter's birthday, I joined, because I also found, when I was doing my research, I found Toastmasters Club, you know, the public speaking club. I joined right away. I joined even in January of 2014, and also in that January, I also did the, what's his name again? I forgot, another course. One of this popular American guy, I did that course as well. It's kind of escaped my mind now. So I joined that Toastmaster right away. And even when I joined Toastmaster, later on, I also went into competition. I did a competition. Can you believe that? So that's the power of, you know, for us to learn concepts, ideas, and as we learn ideas, new concepts, certain age-old barriers begin to lose their hold on us. So, hope you will get some things out of it, and apart from that, go out, put it to practice, and life will reshuffle itself. The environment, the situation, circumstances will, in a strange way, if it's something that is difficult, or difficult will, in a strange way, kind of dissolve. That is part of what studying the materials people like Neville Goddard will do for us. Okay, bye, enjoy, and thanks for watching. Bye. Man is ever out picturing that which he is conscious of being. This is the truth that makes man free. For man is always self-imprisoned or self-freed. See a situation as something on the outside, and you become entangled in its shadows. For everyone who responds to your imaginary act is a shadow. How can a shadow be causative in your world? The moment you give another the power of causation, you have transferred to him the power that rightfully belongs to you. Others are only shadows bearing witness to the activities taking place in you. The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself. If you know this, you are set free, and a series of events will unfold within you to reveal the story of salvation. When you know what you want, assume you have it. Believe your assumption is true. Look at your world mentally and see your fulfilled desire. Do this and you are calling forth a response to your thoughts. And in the not distant future, you will find yourself physically occupying the state imagined. Faith is an experiment which ends as an experience. Experiment by believing you already have all that you desire, and you will have the experience. Do not let a day pass without practicing the art of walking on water. Every time you use your imagination lovingly on behalf of another, you are mediating God through the seeming other. There is no need to beg or ask anyone for anything, for everything lives in the human imagination, ready to appropriate and be made visible. Take me seriously. When you know what you want in life, construct a scene which will imply your desire is fulfilled. See it as clearly as possible. Feel its naturalness. Experiment until you know the scene and all it implies is real. Now, to the degree that you believe in its reality, your experiment will become your experience. Do not stop there. Keep on imagining and share your results with others. Listen closely to your invisible thoughts. What do you hear? What are your words implying? That is their potency. What do you want? Name it and rearrange the structure of your mind to imply you no longer desire it because you already have it. If you have a goal, although it is unseen, it already exists. Your normal mortal eye cannot see it, but by rearranging the structure of your mind, you can see it clearly. If as the days follow one another, you remain loyal to this unseen reality and your goal is reached, you will have discovered the mystery of creation.